Welcome to the Lesbian Podcast. I'm your host, Stephy Lee.
And I'm Bekah B.
And we're super excited to be back with y'all. Last episode, our first episode, the introduction, the intro, we left y'all with a cliffhanger that we were going to tell you guys our horrendous, horrible, just awful story that happened to us when we were 6 months in, correct?
Correct. 6 months into our relationship.
So this is kind of like, it's necessary to talk about because you have to know us, you have to understand the challenges that came our way for us to like be in such a solid place. And so I'm going to try to say this as quickly and possible so we could get this episode out of the way, because obviously I don't like talking about it. Do you like talking about it?
It's not my favorite topic to talk about, but it is necessary. And I think that we've done a whole lot of talking about it the past 3 years. So at this point, you know, therapy, talking with your friends, talking with your family, making music videos, whole albums really about it on Stephy's part. So yeah, I think at this point it is a part of our story, and there's no avoiding talking about it.
That's true. I made an album called I Hope We All Make It, and I was like 10 months in the recovery process of what happened to us, and I was just like, oh, let's call it I Hope We All Make It, because not all of us did. So
correct.
Okay, let's get into it. On April 24th, 2021.
One person is dead and 5 others are hurt after an overnight crash on I-35. Paramedics say at least 4 cars were involved, forcing the interstate to shut down near 51st.
I was in a Texas tour, and on our way back, Bekah was driving. We were with 3 more friends. On our way back from San Antonio back home to Austin, a drunk driver hit us, causing us to hit the medium, where we get out of the car to check our injuries, and I guess 2 or 3 more cars hit us again, and we ended up all flying to the other side of the interstate, where I woke up in the hospital, kind of strapped down, and my good friend and producer, he was only 22 years old, Gapi, he did not make it, and we were just involved in a horrible, horrible car accident, a deadly car accident that had me fighting for my life, and I almost lost my legs, and by the grace of the universe, they were able to save my legs. It's been 3 years, and I'm still undergoing recovery. I may need, another surgery, an 11th surgery on my knee, and I'm still very much going through it, but I have a positive attitude that we're gonna, this happened for a reason. And it just makes me a better human, more understanding, more compassionate, and just all around whole human as it is, You got something to say?
I think that...
And remember, we can't really talk about that much. We can only give you the story because we're still undergoing in the court situation, and it's still a big process, because when somebody passes from injuries in a car accident, it's just a very long process. So it's been 3 years, and that's really all that we can actually divulge about that, or tell you guys, because we still can't talk about it like everything in detail, which we will once the process is closed, but you can express yourself of what happened to us.
Gotcha. I think it was hard. One of the hardest parts, besides waking up in the hospital, not knowing what was going on, was actually getting out of the hospital and figuring out that I wasn't allowed to see Steffi. She was in the ICU for a few days, so it was definitely serious. Anybody who's in the ICU, that's live or die kind of situations. It's like a 50-50 chance. So we went home, and I wasn't able to go and help with Steffi because I had a few broken ribs, I had a concussion, so I wasn't able to go help with her for about, I want to say it was like 11 days. It was a long time. She got moved from the ICU and then into a different floor of the hospital, and I still wasn't able to go see her because I couldn't lift anything heavy, and she needed people to help her get out of the bed and, help move her legs around that were in these 2 giant casts, basically. So yeah, that was really hard because I just didn't know anything that was happening with her. I just had to get all this secondhand information from different people all the time. It was either from her sister, from her mom, or maybe her tia called me at one point, and I just had to get all this secondhand information. Then with that, I was also getting all of the emotions from other people as well. So that was giving me a whole lot of anxiety because one person is telling me in a calm way and then another person's telling me the same story in not a calm way at all. So it was a lot of up and down. I just didn't know what to believe or what was actually going on in there. So one day I did end up, it was COVID, so one day I did end up going to the hospital to see her. I don't think I was technically allowed because she was only allowed to have 2 family members, but I was like, I don't care.
Sneaked in there?
I did kind of sneak in there, yeah, like the elevator was going down, and I was like, I just got in there and went up to her floor, and I didn't really even know her room number. Like, it's somebody told me her room number, but it wasn't the right room number, so I go to this room and nobody's in there, and I was like, so I'm like walking around the room, and then I saw her in the bed, and I was like, okay, there she is. So yeah, after that, she saw me.
We were in the 21 days there together,
yeah,
I think.
She saw me when she was laying down in the bed. Like, she ended up waking up, and I said hi to her and everything. And then her tia was like, you gotta get out of here. Get this girl out of here. And I was like, okay. So I left. But the next day, Steffi specifically requested me to be one of the people to be here caretakers.
I was like, Mom, I want to get out of here. Mom, get me out of here. And I can't move. Mom, I want to get out of here. I want to smoke weed. And she was like, you can't get out of here, and you can't smoke weed either because you're in a hospital and you're recovering, you're surviving right now. And I'm like, well, bring me Bekah then.
Yeah, I didn't really expect that, honestly, because we were only together for 6 months, and I wasn't sure if she was gonna want me around, really, or want me to be in this, especially when, like, every member of her family was here. Like, her tias came in from out of town, her dad was here at one point, her brother and her sister, her cousins were looking after her. So it was like a lot of people that she had, and I kind of stepped back and just kind of waited to see if she was even gonna want me, because I didn't even know how she felt at the time, because I was the one driving the car, so I wasn't sure where her levels of blame were, or like where she was at with all of it, honestly. Like, I didn't know.
Oh, damn.
I didn't know a whole lot, because we really didn't get to talk until like weeks after the accident. It was wild. I mean, I will say that to this day, I still just thought that my car like spontaneously combusted. Like, it just felt like an explosion. Like, I didn't even see anything like a bat out of hell this person was going, and it was just like a blink of an eye. Like, I didn't see not a single headlight.
It's because this person fell
behind
asleep
me.
in the wheel, and they were drunk out of their brains. So, and it just felt horrible. It felt like a very horrible sound. You know, I still remember it to this day.
Yeah. What else can we say about it?
I mean, I think that's fine, and you know, there will be a time where we're able to talk about more in detail about the situation.
And that's another thing. I don't know if this, because of this accident, you know, that's the only reason why we're together. And I don't think that's really the case, but it did create this bond, this unbreakable bond. And when you go through something like that with somebody, it's really hard to just look away from them, you know, and just turn away from them. Like, there was just no way. There was no way that I was just going to walk away from her. And she gave me an option. She was like, you don't have to do this. You don't have to be the one to be taking care of me like this. Like, emotions are everywhere. Like, you're not equipped. You're not equipped to be my therapist and my caregiver. But I just was not going to walk away. I wasn't going to take that easy way out. I was going to go through it. I was going to go through the mud and the muck. And I was going to...
Shout out to Olga Navarro, because my mom really did endure that whole process of taking care of me as well, man. But I think we covered most of what we wanted to share in this episode called The Accident. And now you guys know. Till next time, this is the Let's Beyond podcast. I'm Stephy Lee.
I'm Bekah B, and we'll catch you next week.
Let's go.
Can we do the intro one more time?
No.
Because I did a...
Me siento vacío.